everyone, welcome back to A Gut Feeling, where we talk about all things relating to the gut. My name is Janine, and today we are going to dive into a smoothie that is like a superfood smoothie, and a smoothie that is just chock full of healing benefits that promote gut health. Before we jump into it, I just want to clarify that I'm not a doctor or a dietitian, so any changes that you want to make to your diet, you should check with your doctor first. If you're new here, this channel is all about me and my journey dealing with ulcerative colitis. I believe that there is healing that can be found for ulcerative colitis, and after 2.5 years of really struggling with this disease, more often in a flare than not, I finally ditched all my meds and took a little bit of a different route, and this is the first time that I have ever pulled out of a flare and been doing so incredibly well without any kind of meds, without steroids or anything. So I'm always super excited to share any knowledge with you all, things that have worked for me, things that haven't worked for me, and I promise to keep you all updated on my journey. So if you're new here, I would love if you'd subscribe and hit that little bell button so that you always get notified when I release a new video. Alright, so let's jump right into the smoothie recipe. So first off, I use my 24-hour yogurt as the base for the recipe. Now, if you've been on this channel, you know what a big advocate I am for 24-hour yogurt, and if you're a person that actually can't tolerate dairy, many times you can actually tolerate 24-hour yogurt, because when you culture a yogurt for 24 hours, the probiotics in the yogurt pretty much eat up all the lactose in the milk, and so it's much easier on the gut. If you haven't seen my other video, I have it linked below. I have the entire recipe and how I make my yogurt, so you can go check that out after you watch this video. Now, when I started my journey from a lot of my research and studies and watching other people's journeys, I was convinced that one of the key benefits to healing our guts is to get our gut microbiome back in balance. Often when we have a bad balance of our gut microbes, where the bad bacteria is overrunning the good bacteria, then we end up with all these different gut issues. So one of the things that I have chosen to help combat that is to eat a lot of probiotic and prebiotic foods in my diet, and I'm still introducing more of those back in. But in starting off, I use the specific carbohydrate diet as my guide, and that really helped me pull out of a flare. It's an incredible diet. I've talked more about it on this channel. But in the beginning phases when my gut was so compromised, I used this smoothie recipe probably for 70% of my diet, because it was just so beneficial. It's so healing in my personal opinion, and I love it. It tastes delicious and it's just easy on the gut. And so that's what I'm introducing to you. So the things that I put into this smoothie recipe is kind of the minimal, it's the basics, and as you start getting better and your gut starts healing and improving, you start adding more and more foods back into the smoothie. Alright, so I have yogurt as my base. You can also use kefir once your gut gets into better shape, but you want to kind of stay away from kefir when your gut is really bad, because kefir is pretty powerful stuff. So I just use yogurt right now, and eventually you can switch to kefir. So I use yogurt as my base for my high probiotic food. Alright, now it's always a really good idea to eat prebiotics with probiotics. So what is a prebiotic? Basically, think of prebiotics like a fertilizer for the good bacteria in your gut. Probiotics are your live bacteria, and it's the prebiotics that feeds the live probiotics. So it's a good idea when you're taking a probiotic food that you take prebiotics with it, so those probiotics can continue to grow and replenish your gut. So in combining the specific carbohydrate diet and this idea of good prebiotics and probiotics, one of the first foods that you're allowed to reintroduce into the specific carbohydrate diet is bananas. So at the beginning, you want to make sure they're super ripe, that they have some brown spots on them, there's no green. Now, bananas are a good prebiotic food. Granted, they're higher in prebiotics when they're more green, but you do not want to eat green bananas when you have such a compromised gut, trust me. So you want to make sure they're really ripe, and it adds a really delicious and smooth, creamy taste to your smoothie. So when you first start, you probably want to start slowly with just like half a banana and increase it. Right now, for one serving, I usually do about 1 banana. And by the way, I'm sorry, my directions for this smoothie, there's like no amounts, because you could put as much in of all this different food as you wanted. It would still taste good. I just kind of guess and dump and put it in to make a nice amount for 1 serving. But normally I would add 1 banana into my yogurt smoothie. Alright, so we're adding in a banana for prebiotics. And bananas are also beneficial for other things, but for right now, we're just going to stick to the fact that they're a good prebiotic and they make your smoothie taste great. And the second thing that you're allowed to have on the specific carbohydrate diet is honey. So honey is also recognized as a possible prebiotic, and since it's allowed on the specific carbohydrate diet, I also added this to my smoothies. It gave it kind of a sweet, satisfying taste. You don't have to add this, but it's a good option as well. So I was adding bananas and honey. Both of those are prebiotics for the probiotics. Now, as your gut begins to heal and you can start tolerating more foods, one of the first fruits that I would add back in is blueberries. So blueberries are rich in prebiotics. These are an incredible prebiotic food that you should definitely add into your smoothies. There's actually been research done as well that they're a good preventative for colon cancer. So blueberries have the ability to address gut inflammation by also aiding good bacteria in our gut. So we're back again to the prebiotic benefits of blueberries. Blueberries enhance the healthy microbes in our gut. Blueberries are super healthy. They're rich in vitamins and antioxidants. New research shows that blueberry fiber is important and can alleviate and protect against intestinal inflammation such as ulcerative colitis. And once again, this works best when blueberries are eaten with probiotics because these blueberries are very, very, very good prebiotics. But let me again mention, don't start off with blueberries if your gut is really, really compromised. We have to slowly introduce these foods in, and I have more information about the specific carbohydrate diet and how I did all that. So make sure to check those other videos out if you're new here. So I would just suggest when you're starting off with this smoothie, slowly introduce bananas, honey, and then later on, maybe a few weeks later, you can try to introduce the blueberries. All right, moving on. There were two other main ingredients that I would put into my smoothies when I was starting off with this diet. And there's an additional one I'm going to recommend that I used off and on. The first one would be collagen. And I'm gonna have links to all products below that I recommend that are high quality, healthy products. There's many different types of collagen in the body, but just for sake of time, I'm just gonna give a quick overview of what collagen as a whole does. And I'm gonna have, once again, links in the description to supplements that I would personally recommend. So what is collagen good for? It has many, many benefits. One of the things that it's really known for is for healthy skin. It just helps your skin look younger, and it can also help with cellulite, stretch marks, acne, and so on. We're not really here to talk about skin health, we're here to talk about gut health. There's been studies that have shown that people with gut issues have less collagen in the lining of their gut. So when you take collagen, it's a really good aid in helping you replenish your gut lining and just protect your gut because you need collagen in your gut. Another interesting thing, collagen can help prevent arthritis because it reduces the pain and swelling in your joints. So for me, I would personally put like a heaping tablespoon of collagen into my smoothies. I'm not actually sure, I should have checked on this, what the recommended amount is. I'm not sure if it's less or more. You might should double check on that before you follow my advice, but for me personally, I put a heaping tablespoon of collagen into my smoothies. Now the second thing that I put into my smoothies was Bovine Colostrum. And I've talked a lot about it on this channel, so I don't plan to like go into a whole lot of depth about it. I have interviews and my personal experience with colostrum, but it's just incredible and I'm just so excited about it, I can hardly stop talking about it. But let's just go over quickly a few of the benefits that colostrum bring to the table. Okay, so number one, it helps reduce inflammation. So in bovine colostrum, there is something called lactoferrin. According to research, lactoferrin, I think I'm saying that correctly, has the ability to bind to endotoxins to neutralize their effect and then in turn reduce inflammation. So the second awesome thing, which is why I started taking colostrum, is it supports a healthy gut. And lactoferrin actually also acts as a good prebiotic. So not only do we have bananas and honey and later on blueberries, but now we also have colostrum that is aiding in prebiotics in our smoothie. So lactoferrin acts as a prebiotic and it stimulates the growth of the good bacteria in our gut. Another incredible thing is it also promotes cell growth in our intestines. So this helps soothe inflammation and helps to heal a damaged gut. So once again, we have another supplement that's helping to rebuild the lining of our gut. So often what happens with those of us with IBD issues is we have leaky guts. So basically there's just like these little holes within the gut wall and it's allowing toxins and things into our bloodstream that aren't supposed to be there. Then our body freaks out and then we call that an autoimmune disease, basically, in my own way of explaining things. So like for these different supplements that we take, like the collagen and the colostrum, these both benefit in helping rebuild and repair our gut lining, which is so important. And the awesome thing about colostrum is it's also benefiting and feeding the good bacteria. It's incredible superfood, but we're not quite done yet. The third thing is it strengthens your immunity. This lactoferrin we're talking about, it works to boost immune balancing T cells and also to help increase natural white blood cells, which helps to regulate your body's defense against pathogens. And also an additional benefit, it has natural antifungal, antibacterial, and antiviral abilities. So it's basically helping you fight against diseases and harmful cells in your body. And the last thing I'm just going to quickly touch on, this is doesn't really have to do with gut health, but it helps promote ligament and muscle healing. And it has been shown in studies that after using bovine colostrum for 8 weeks, there's been an increase in lean muscle mass and athletic performance. That's kind of colostrum in a nutshell. I'll have links below if you're interested in buying some. I would definitely recommend a company that has high quality colostrum, because there's a lot of companies out there that basically are selling you powdered milk, or what we call transitional milk. So just do your research into companies. Listen to some of the other videos if you want, where I talk about the company that I would recommend. For the colostrum, I like to put a heaping teaspoon into my smoothie. I try to get 2 heaping teaspoons a day, but if you're just starting off on colostrum, I would definitely recommend like maybe a half a teaspoon, because taking too much colostrum can make your gut hurt until your gut begins to heal and get better. So the last supplement that I want to talk about that you can add to your smoothies that's super beneficial for your gut is called L-glutamine. Now some people react to this differently, so just be careful with it. But for the most part, I think most people can tolerate it. So L-glutamine is considered a conditionally essential fatty acid because our body uses so much of it during times of intense physical stress. Now L-glutamine is really popular with people that have IBD issues, because L-glutamine works to protect the mucous membrane of the esophagus and the intestines. So the mucous membrane blocks bacterial infiltration during digestion. So once again, this supplement is helping protect our gut lining so things don't get into our bloodstream that don't belong there. It also boosts immune cell activity in the gut, so it's helping prevent infection and inflammation, as well as soothing the intestinal tissue. And it can also support the reduction of like intestinal spasms, which if you have IBD, you might know what that feels like. It doesn't feel good. So for the L-glutamine, I would recommend somewhere between 1/4 to 1 teaspoon in your smoothies. But once again, go ahead and feel free to do your own research on that, but that's sort of what I've been doing. So we have all these benefits of L-glutamine, colostrum, and collagen. Basically, all 3 of these work to help rebuild that gut lining and to help keep your gut sealed from letting bacteria and toxins get into your bloodstream. They all have their incredible benefits, and you add these into your smoothie and you have a powerhouse for the gut. I hope you all found this video helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. I'd love to have you join the channel. And once again, I'm going to have links to everything below, including the blender. I highly recommend using a Ninja blender. They are just incredible. You can either use the big mixer or individual cups, and it does an incredible job at just chopping up those bananas. One thing about bananas I would also recommend, I freeze a lot of my bananas. So I would go to the store, buy a lot of bananas, make sure they're super ripe, and then freeze them, get them out one at a time when I'm ready to put them in my smoothies. If you have any questions about anything, please feel free to email me. My email is in the About section of this channel. I would love to hear your story, things that have helped you or challenges you're facing. So please comment below or email me, and I hope you all have a very blessed day. Bye!